Hey you guys, welcome. For those of you who do not know me, my name is V&A McCabe. Feel free to call me V. I'm hashtag the beauty and the boys. I am going to show you guys how I created this makeup look of the day. Disclaimer, I am not a makeup artist. I'm just a stay-at-home mom to 4 boys. This is why I love to play with anything beauty and just have fun creating different looks. It's just my escape, my girly time away from these boys. So enjoy this video. If you guys see any of the Farmasi products and you want to add it to your collection, just check out the link that I put in the description below. And if you have any other questions about any of the products or shade matching, just feel free to reach out to me in the comments or find me on Facebook. I am on The Beauty and the Boys, that's my business page, or on my regular page. Again, it's V&A McCabe. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or evening, depend what time you're watching, and have a blessed rest of your month. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Alright you guys, so now I'm going to try my makeup a totally different method. I saw this on TikTok, and I haven't really been big on TikTok, but it's the same name, The Beauty and the Boys, if you want to go check it out. I'm still learning that stuff, but I did see a video on TikTok and I was like, I'm gonna give this a try next time I do my makeup. So of course, after you do all your skincare routine plus your primer, then you want to go in with your setting powder, and today I'm going to use a colored setting powder. Typically I use a transparent color, but today I really wanted some extra coverage and color on my face. So I'm going to go in with Farmasi number 5 Cool Dark Setting Powder. I'm going to apply this first, and I just use our 2-sided brush for this method. Once I get some on my brush, then I just kind of put some of the powder all over my face. Now this is also a great powder if you are the kind of person that just wants a little bit of coverage on your face and you don't want anything heavy and you really don't want a lot, like you don't need a lot of coverage. Then this is a great foundation for you because it's a powder foundation. You can use it to set your makeup with, or you can use it simply to just get out the door kind of a look. So I'm doing, again, number 5 Cool Dark, and I just go all over my face with this powder. Okay, now once I have some of the setting powder, I take it down my neck as well. But once I have the coverage that I like with this setting powder, then you want to go in with your setting spray before you do any kind of other foundation, meaning liquid foundation, cream to powder finish foundation, or wax-based foundation, any kind of foundation you like, even if it's just a BB cream or a CC cream. So let the setting powder do its thing, then set it with our Time Locker setting spray and give it a good shake. Okay, let that set. Okay, so shade number 3 is the one we're gonna go with next. And I just take a little bit on the back of my hand. The great thing about this foundation is because I use this shade all year long, I use a tiny bit and it really, a little bit goes a long way. And then I take my 2-sided brush. I will have multiple of these brushes because they are my favorite. It just really works well. But I'm going to use a 2-sided brush, and I'm just going to take a little bit at a time of the VFX Pro Camera Filter Ready foundation, and I tap it on the back of my hand, get some onto the brush, and then I tap it onto my skin on the areas that I want a little bit of the extra cover. Without my nose ring, it just makes it easier to blend. But once I get my foundation on, I'll put my nose ring back in. So just taking a little bit of the extra foundation that I had on the back of my hand to finish blending. Now I'm going to say I really do like the coverage doing my foundation the way TikTok was showing, because it doesn't feel heavy. It feels like skin, and it really does leave more like a flawless coverage and finish. So I am like so excited about this. I was kind of skeptical about trying it, like thinking, oh, it's gonna look really bad because you're putting powder first and then your setting spray and then a liquid foundation, I feel like it's just not gonna blend very well. But it really has no problem blending, like with the liquid on top of the powder. So I'm really impressed. I really like the coverage. I love that it feels like I'm not wearing any kind of makeup at all. It really feels like skin. And on top of that, I mean, I've always had that feeling with the Farmasi. Alright you guys, so now that my foundation is all good to go, I'm gonna go in with our Terracotta Blush number 17. I've been really feeling this blush because it's so close to spring that I feel like this blush, being somewhat of a peachy tone, is amazing for all skin tones, because you can use it not just as blush, but you can use it on your lips, you can use it for eyeshadow. There's so many different ways you can use our terracotta blushes, and there's a variety of shades, but they're so gorgeous as all of the above. Lips, eyes, blush. So I'm going to go in with the blush number 17, and I am using one of our very popular brush sets. This is from Farmasi and it's in the leopard print. The cool thing about these sets is they come in these adorable little to-go bags that have multiple brushes in there. I believe you get 4 or 5 brushes, I can't remember, but it's a good set. Now just take a tiny bit, because really a little bit goes a long way. And then with my blush, I like to start with blending downwards, and it just really gives it that pop of color to my cheek that I want, without it being overbearing. Like, you don't want to look like you just got slapped on the face. So just a tiny bit of blush, just to add a little bit of that little fun pop of blush tone. Makes me feel more put together for the day. So before I do my eyeshadow, I like to start with a blush. This is blush number 3, and I like to use this blush from Farmasi as a transition color into my eyes. So I'm going to use the leopard brush set again, because I like that it's got kind of like almost like a little point to it, enough to do blending all around my lid and especially in my crease. Tap a little bit into that blush number 3. So this is more of like a peachy tone as well, which works really well for a transition color. Really, you can use anything from a warm taupe color, a peachy color, even like a banana color, almost like a light white shade that's kind of more like a tan. So I typically go and call it banana color, because you want anything that's going to transition any other eyeshadow that you put on top very nicely. Alright, the next one that I like to go in, especially because I'm wearing black today, I'm going to use our eyeshadow palette. That's a trio eyeshadow palette. Comes with a cute little mirror. This one has 3 gorgeous colors, and I like to start with the lighter shade. I'm going to use the same brush that I used in my previous color, but I always like to clean it off with one of these little swatch eyeshadow cleaners. I don't know what they're called. And then I'm going to take the eyeshadow palette. Now before I start that, actually, I'm going to take this smaller brush. This is just a brush from, what is it? Real Techniques. We're going to go right into this palette right here where the lighter color is, because I actually like to use this eyeshadow as a highlight color as well. So I'll apply a little bit of that as a highlight before I use it as my eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take my big fluffy brush again and just blend that highlight out. It just really gives it that pretty glow. When the sunlight hits, it just gives it that pretty shine. Just like that. Okay, so there's my highlight. If you want to, you can even be a little extra and just put a tiny bit on your nose, and then blend it out with that puffy brush, just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to take my fluffy leopard cheetah print, whatever you want to call it. It's the leopard, right? I'm going to go into this lighter color here, and then I like to work this into my eyelid all over. So I'm you'll see it just kind of blend it all around on top of that transition color. So the vintage palette does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. Some people don't like shimmers. We do have matte shadows as well. I really don't mind the shimmer, especially in like the springtime. I just love that highlight, that glow. It just makes me feel good. So really it just comes down to preference, what you prefer. Some people say, oh, as you get older, you shouldn't be using shimmer. In reality, age is just a number. You do what you feel most comfortable in. I feel like I'm gonna be 60, 70, 80, and I'm gonna still be rocking some shimmer. I really don't care, because you can really be very soft-handed with the shimmer where it doesn't look crazy, like boom, you know, it just looks good. So that's what I do. I typically build it up to my liking, but I always start very light-handed, because remember, you can always add more, but you cannot take away unless you want to start all over. So the best thing to do is just build it up to your liking, slowly but surely. Add more of the eyeshadow that you feel most comfortable with. Okay, so I started with the lighter color. Next, I'm going to go in with this color right here. Now, Real Techniques, I love their brushes. This is another one of their brushes as well, because I like that pointy, soft, especially for my crease. I'm going to go in with that color right there that I showed you. And the cool thing about these little tiny palettes is they're really awesome to travel, because they're so small, so they don't take up too much space when you're packing. And it also has that cool mirror, so if you're on the go and you need to do a touch-up, you have a tiny mirror that is definitely worth every penny. I feel like any eyeshadow palette you get with a mirror is a plus. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm tapping that color into the outer part of my eye, just like that, and then I'm going to be blending. Now I'm going to take a different brush to blend, because you really want to have a clean brush when it comes to blending. But right now what I'm doing is I'm really building up that color that I like on the outer part of my eye. And then I'm going to build it and work it into the crease as well. You see how it's starting to come together? I feel like when I wear black, I like to do a little bit of a bold eyeshadow look. It just makes it fun. And sometimes I like to be even more extreme and do a bold lip look. Typically, if you're going to do a bold eye look, you don't want to do a very bold lip look. You want to stick more towards the nude. But today I feel being more. Now the last color I'm going to do with this palette is the middle one, which is more of like the dark purple color. So we're going to go in with that. I'm going to use my same brush from my leopard brush set, but I made sure I cleaned it with my little swatch cleaner before I went and did a different color. And then we're going to use this color for the outer part of my eye. So right now we're just going to tap it into the crease, build it up, and then I do like a circular motion to really build up that color on the outer part of my eye. If you want it to be a little bit darker, you could tap your brush into the palette and then grab your setting spray and spray the top of your brush with the color on the brush, and then the setting spray on top. You're going to get more of a bold look with the eyeshadow. I really don't want to do too much of a super bold look because typically in the daytime I do a lighter smoky eye look, and then if I were to go out tonight, then I would go back in and darken up that eyeshadow even more by doing that method, tapping into the eyeshadow and then spraying my setting spray on top of that color. But right now we're going to keep it somewhat bold but a little bit softer for my daytime smoky. I'm going to do the same thing on this eye, just tapping it into the outer part of the eye, and then I kind of just do like a circular motion and work it into the crease, just like that. Now I take a little bit of what I have on that brush, and I typically like to do like underneath the waterline, just to really smoke out that bottom part of my eye. Do the same thing on the other side. And these brushes are so soft, so it really doesn't irritate your eyes when you use this brush right underneath your waterline because they're super, super soft. I really like this brush set. So I'm gonna do the same thing, add a little bit more of that purple color from this vintage season eyeshadow palette and just finish blending to soften up that look. And then I'm going to take my other price and I'm going to take my fluffy brush. This one is actually from BH Cosmetics and it's just super soft and perfect for my blending. So I just typically like to start on the outer part and then work my way into the crease. And all I'm doing is blending all the colors to soften them up together. Again, a clean brush for blending is always so important, so you always want to have a different brush when it comes to blending. It's just going to give you a clean finish and really soften up your look all around. Right, so now the last step I'm going to do to really tie in this look, I'm going to take my Real Techniques, kind of like a flat brush, eyeshadow flat brush, and I'm going to dip it into the lighter color of my palette from the Vintage Season Farmasi palette. So this lighter color right here. I have color on my brush. Now I'm going to take my setting spray. I'm just using the Time Locker setting spray from Farmasi, and I'm going to apply that color more towards the lid and the front part of my lid. So I really want that color as I'm tapping it. I'm not blending, I'm just tapping it. I really want that color to be more towards the front to give that more of like a highlight glow. So I'm not blending, I'm just tapping that color and working it towards the inner part of my eye because that's where I really want that highlight to pop some more. So I'm going down just a little bit as I'm tapping. Almost like a slight motion. Finish that look. And then I'll go back in with that fluffy brush to blend everything together to really soften up those looks. And then we're going to take that setting spray and just kind of set everything one more time. And then I'll do my mascara. Okay, I did a little bit extra setting spray. You really don't need that much, but it just feels good, it smells good, and I love to make sure that if I'm going to go hug somebody, my makeup isn't going to transfer onto their clothing. So that's why a setting spray is so important to set your foundation, set all your makeup. So today I'm going to use lipstick number 17. Now keep in mind, earlier when I first did my foundation, before I did my foundation, I used our lip stain. I only did one small thin layer of the lip stain because once that sets, it really stays put all day long. But I do want to add this hot pink on top of that lip stain just because I love that pink with the black. It just looks really good. So we're going to add a tiny bit of this. And then just kind of turn it so that I can like line my lips with that tip. Isn't that pretty? I love this pink. It's like perfect for... Now, lipstick can be pretty messy, right? So here's a couple of tips. Sometimes after I have applied a lipstick, I like to go back in with a lip liner. I typically don't always match my liner with my lipstick. I sometimes like to use a different shade. So today I'm actually going to use our lip liner from Farmasi in number 220. And I just kind of go in and line it as I'm like filling it in all over. This just kind of makes me feel like it's a little bit cleaner finish. Then after I do that, always have these disposable wedges on hand because they really do come in handy. This allows you to not have a messy finish by accidentally getting lipstick on your fingers and all over your face. The disposable wedge is a really great tool to have. So I like to go in and clean it up a little bit. Just any little areas that need extra cleaning, right? Then after I do that, I like to be even extra, and I'll go back in with our transparent setting spray from Farmasi. What this does is it allows your lipstick to really set in place. So I take that same disposable wedge and I just tap into that transparent powder, and then I just take that powder, tap a little bit on the back of my hand, and then all over my lips. That's going to allow this lipstick to set a little bit more in place. So then you don't have to worry about it like smearing all over. And it's, you know, a little bit more kissable, and you still get some, because it's a lipstick, it's not a stain, but it's not as bad as it would be. And then my final step for today, I'm going to use our Farmasi eyelash curler and the Zen mascara, because I've been really feeling this mascara lately. And with $8.90 customer price, not a bad deal. I get this for under $5 as a beauty influencer, so I always rave about this mascara because it really works amazing, and for the price you pay, totally worth giving it a chance. So I know some people get scared with this lash tool, so I always tell people use the eyelash curler before you apply any mascara, because if you use the lash tool after you've applied mascara, you can accidentally get your lashes to come out. So always use this tool prior to mascara. I just feel it's safer that way, but it really does curl really well before you apply mascara. Alright, so with the Zen mascara, I always like to start with my wand, kind of cleaning up any extra product from the wand, and then I start with my wand facing this way. So usually the tip of it, the top part is, the curved part is on top. So here's one coat so far. So after I do one coat of mascara, I go in and clean it up a little bit with my lash cleaner. And then I can go in and do a second coat. This way I don't have any clumps and it just has a complete clean finish look. Now I'm just going to finish the look with the Express waterproof eyeliner. This is again a Farmasi product, and I just line a little bit where I did the smoky part of my eye, and I leave this part without liner because it just kind of helps make my eyes look not too closed in, but just enough to really smoke out the bottom of my eye and make that bold color pop some more. Sorry, my little guy is now awake from his nap, so he's in here with me. Might get a little rowdy. So again, that's waterproof, a black shade in the Express eye pencil line. Alright you guys, so here it is. Just really want you to see this mascara's magic. It's amazing, and that's only with Zen mascara. Typically, I do like to mix and match my different mascaras, but I'm a huge fan of Zen. For the price, can't beat it. So my little guy wants to say hi. Say hi everyone. So he is getting so big so fast. Say hi. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and again, I am super excited and eager to grow my YouTube. I feel like it's definitely way out of my comfort zone, but I'm just gonna have fun with it, hang out with my little guys, and continue to do more videos. All right, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.